Hey everyone, I want to invite you to follow Gauntlet Runner on Kickstarter. This will be my newest 5e book. It'll have physical and PDF and VTT options. Things are currently in development and the Kickstarter is in pre-launch. And as you can guess, it will feature a series of hardcore dungeons. They're formatted for any kind of play, so they can be a solo runner competition like in this YouTube series, or you can use them as standalone modules for whole adventuring parties in a typical campaign. They're suitable for tabletop or on VTTs. And guys, you know how I like to do it. Lots of highly crafted design, artistic style. You know, I like to make things awesome. So check out the Kickstarter, give it a follow, find the link to the pre-launch page down in the video description. I'll see you there. The Mithril Emperor has made his decree, and the Labyrinth Lord has set about constructing the Gauntlet Sprawl, a grand series of trials so perilous as to push competitors to their limits. How will these contenders survive? Cunning, skill, mystical powers, brute force. Destiny and doom hang in the balance for every single Gauntlet Runner. Welcome to Gauntlet Runner. I'm your Game Master, Esper. In this series, players attempt hardcore dungeon runs, solo dungeon runs in this case. Today's competitor is Baron DeRopp, host of the YouTube channel Dungeon Masterpiece. Will he master this dungeon, or will he be torn to pieces? Hello, Baron.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you. So, you're going to be going through a gauntlet of sorts.
I am.
Who's your character? I'll show some stats on the screen here, but tell us what
Sure.
do we see? Give us a little bit.
I've decided to do the unthinkable and try to make a pacifist run of whatever this dungeon is. I am playing as the level 1 bold and brave Morpheus the illusionist gnome. He has no combat spells and has 6 hit points, and will try to run this entire dungeon without taking a single hit or being able to kill a single enemy.
I'm very happy to hear that. That is actually music to my ears. Everyone's been playing like orcs and stuff, and so I've been hoping someone would try this approach that's more tricksy and sneaky and whatnot. All right. Well, if you're ready, we'll get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Morpheus, illusionist gnome, you are in a room with stonework architecture, and there's a stairway descending there in the middle of the room. There are 3 figures with you. 2 are armored guards, and then 1 is this cloaked man, this tall cloaked man. These 3 are the ones who brought you to this room here. And the man in the cloak, he gestures to the stairway. Gauntlet Runner, down there is your trial. Your challenge is to make it all the way through the gauntlet. You have 3 hours in which to do so. Take heed. Sanctuaries are marked with the symbol of Morpheus the Dreamer. In these places, there are no monsters, no traps. As long as nothing follows you in there, it is a secure place in which you can rest. And now your time has come to descend.
This seems foreboding. Perhaps there will be many gems I can recover while I'm down there. But I will see you in 3 hours!
You go down?
Yep.
Okay, there you are. So you are coming down these stairs, and the walls are masonry, like a well-crafted masterwork masonry. Illumination is by way of some wrought iron wall sconces with ever-burning flames.
I guess I'm just gonna zip around to the corner here and start sticking my nose out, slowly but surely, trying to get a view of what's down the hallway.
Looks different. It has an irregular, natural shape, like a cave, and there are giant mushrooms. When you step to that point, a iron gate slides down from the ceiling behind you. Ahead, the air is moist, a bit of a mildew smell. The mushrooms are quite large. The ceiling is 10 feet high, and some of them go all the way up to the ceiling. Thick stalks, thick fruiting bodies, kind of man-sized mushrooms.
Since I've only got, 4 hit points, 6 hit points, I'm just going to slowly inch my way down the steps, peek around. Do I see anything that looks like it could jump out and get me from among the mushrooms?
No, everything is still there, and there's a variety of different mushrooms, though nothing about them is particularly striking. They just look like big mushrooms. They don't have any emanations or anything. The only actual movement you see would be in this one of these ever-burning flames here off of this jut. There is a sound, a quiet sound, a bit of a shuffling beyond that jut.
Okay.
A moan and a squeak, like a rat squeak.
Okay, I'm going to... Are the mushrooms big enough for me to, dip into and kind of hide while I peer into the next area? Okay, I'm just going to...
Very much so.
Slip into the mushrooms and take a gander.
Yep. We'll consider the mushroom area difficult terrain, and there's plentiful cover for you to get behind.
Okay.
You see over there the source of that moaning and the shuffling noise. There is a zombie, a man, some poor sot, skin gone to grays and greens. His clothing is just sort of a nondescript, threadbare tunic, and there are rats crawling on him. One is gnawing at his cheek. He pulls the thing off and flings it against a wall.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna continue slowly inching my way through the mushrooms here. Ooh. What is this I found?
There seems to be a tunnel to the east. It's hard to make out where exactly it's going because there's a lot of mushrooms blocking your view. Otherwise, the room is continuing to the west, and there looks to be on the western end, kind of northwestern end, there's back to masonry and corridor.
Okay. I'm going to take a quick peek down this tunnel.
Step there, and there is a noise, a loud noise. There's a big mushroom that you could not see before until you got to that point. And now you can see it, and it can see you. And from its porous cap comes a shriek. We're going to go into initiative here just because that's going to be helpful to organize things. Murbus, you spring into action, perhaps with a sense that you need to do something quickly, and the zombie is looking in your general direction, not specifically at you. Clearly agitated by the shrieking noise.
I'm going to cast a minor illusion of shuffling steps and just some discombobulated voices coming from behind the zombie at the dogleg in the hallway at the west end of the room. Something that could sound like, armored footsteps and people talking.
You make a clamor over in that direction. Seems to be drawing the zombie's attention.
Okay. I'm going to dip into this cavern. Just slightly.
It's an unlit tunnel. It looks like your dark vision is availing you of some amount of vision. It's a curving cave-like tunnel.
Okay.
And the shrieking mushroom continues its shriek. The zombie, rats riding atop it and gnawing on it, goes over to see what the commotion was. Back to you, Murbus.
Okay. I guess I'll continue carefully inching my way down the hallway here.
When you come to there, you see a creature, and it is moving in your direction, in fact.
Okay.
And it is a segmented thing, quadrupedal, with large tufted antennae growing off of its somewhat insect-like face. And it's clearly being drawn to the shrieking noise of the giant mushroom, and it's coming from somewhere farther on in the tunnel, and you're heading in its direction, and it's heading in your direction.
Okay. I have only one piece of iron on me, which is my dagger, which is pretty useless. So I'm going to... Oh, man, how do I want to do this? I'm going to chuck the dagger into one of these mushrooms on the wall just south of me so that it's stuck in the mushroom just out of reach of where the rust monster is, ideally in a place that wouldn't make a big clamor when I hit the mushroom, if that makes sense. I don't want to hit the wall. I don't want to drop it on the ground. I want to stick it in that mushroom.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Ping, ring, dang! the dagger clangs. Well, there's a shrieking mushroom, so I don't know if the dagger clang is actually louder than the shrieking mushroom.
Gotcha.
Well, it's on the floor and away from you. That much was accomplished.
I'm going to hang back right here on this corner and see what the rust monster does to see if it is going to go for the dagger or if it's going to continue coming at me.
Yep, it certainly goes to it, and its antennae begin work of oxidizing it. At some, with some amount of quickness. The shrieker continues to shriek. The zombie is, I guess you can't see the zombie, so it's out there somewhere. Back to you, Mervis.
I'm going to just zip behind the rust monster, pitter-pattering my feet until I get to this little spot right here. And
there is a descent, like a natural descending slope in this tunnel going into some kind of deeper den.
Do I want to go down there? This is where I would feel I need to poll the viewers. Viewers, do I go down? Let's roll a d6 decider die.
Okay.
All right, d6. On a 4, 5, or 6, I go down. There we go. We're going down the hole.
He chose down. There's some kind of cave or lower cave-like den down there. You cannot see its full extent just due to the angles of the walls and whatnot.
Does this look like a dead end?
Not that you can see. That you don't see any termination.
I guess.
You want to go down there?
Yeah, let's go.
You go down into this other deeper cave place, so we can understand that your character has used the dash action.
Okay.
There's a couple things you notice down there. In one corner of this cave-like den, there are, let's call them remains, non-metallic remains and effects of whoever might have died in here at some previous point. It's vague. It's just a heap of stuff, and you see a couple bones protruding.
Okay.
One thing that you do see is a staff, and it's a nice-looking staff.
Let's grab that sucker.
On the other end of the cave, there is a farther tunnel that seems to continue going, and you can hear skittering noises, the same skittering noises that rust monster made. So it seems like there's one or more of them if you go that other way. You hear the rust monster doing its thing with the dagger. Seems like it's pretty occupied with that. The shrieker continues to shriek. The zombie is out of sight. So we're back to you now.
Okay. I guess I will see if I can scoot over to the staff, snag that.
You take it in hand. A well-made staff. There are some runes etched into it. This is no ordinary walking stick.
And with that, I guess I'm on the clock for how long that rust monster is going to be gnawing on my dagger. So I'm going to try and run back past the rust monster as fast as possible.
You still have, you're in a dash, you have 20 more feet of speed, and then that's like the full extent of what you can do in one turn.
Okay.
And you've got this nice, wizard's staff in your hand.
Yeah, we'll stop there.
Okay, the rust monster is slowly turning that dagger into rust. I say slowly, quickly turning that dagger into rust. It's, it's maybe halfway through rusting the thing, and as the antennae rusted, its mouth parts are chewing it up and hungrily devouring the ferrous particles. And the shrieker shrieks, and the zombie, I don't think you have any view of where it's at. So,
I don't.
Mervis, what do you do now?
I'm going to zip back down here and just poke my head out to see through the mushrooms. The shrieker is still shrieking, right? And the zombie is just ambling around? What's the zombie doing?
is ambling around, and and a rat scurries up it and begins to bite at its peck.
I'm going to make a sound of that iron gate. I'm going to make a sound of it going up and down and rattling with a minor illusion. The iron gate at the South Hall.
Yep. So I'm going to shift gears slightly here in this encounter scenario because I think I see where you're going, and this is going to just kind of cut to the interesting part of it.
Okay.
So your character causes a distraction to draw the zombie away.
Okay.
And you slip through the mushrooms over to the other side of the room.
Correct.
You come through the corridor. You find yourself in front of a heavy stone door.
Okay.
It's not really marked with anything. It's just kind of the stone slab in a socket with this little protrusion bit that you could grasp and pull to pull the door open. Just a heavy stone door.
Like a stone door with a doorknob.
Yeah, what functionally would be a doorknob.
Right.
You've got just maybe a round or two before that rust monster's done eating, and the zombies, who knows, it'll maybe come back to shuffling once it sees that there's not really anything to find over there.
Sure. Okay, well, I don't have any iron on me anymore, and it's got a zombie and an iron gate to distract it. I guess I'm just going to give the staff a quick study. Is there anything about the staff that would indicate to me what it does without gaining, the explicit knowledge that I might out of you
could take an
spell?
action to make an intelligence arcana check, and that will see if you just right off the bat, this hot moment, can immediately know what this thing is.
Okay, sure. Let's do it. Nope. I guess a 5, so something around a 12 is my check.
Clearly, this is some kind of arcane staff. That much is plain to you. What exactly it does, you don't know just right off the bat in this moment of rush. If you had some time to study it, it might become more apparent to you.
Okay. I guess giving it the once over, not really seeing what it does right off the bat, with a bit of time pressure, I'm going to slowly pull that door open. Actually, before I do that, is there anything about the door itself that looks like it might be bugged, trapped, tripped, wired, anything like that?
So we'll say that concludes a turn.
Okay.
And, you can...
Oh, sure.
You can hear, the goings on that I described, and then I would come back to your turn. You can spend an action to study the door.
Sure.
Or you can spend an action to just try to open the thing. It's quite heavy, so you're thinking it's going to take some effort.
Right, with me being a little gnome and all.
That also is swaying in.
I'm only 3 feet tall, 2.5 feet.
Depends how you styled your hair that day.
I know, right? How big is my hat? That's the real question. Push the door as gently as possible so that it doesn't go swinging open. I just want to stick my nose in there.
In the case of this door, it's heavy enough. It requires enough effort that it does take an action for a strength check. So it will be on your next turn that occurs. And in the meantime, you get the sense that rust monster might be finishing that snack that you provided.
Gotcha. I guess let's try and open the door on my next turn.
Yep, we're back to your next turn.
Okay. Oh, man.
You break a fingernail and it smarts.
Oh, that's lovely. Off my turn, do I hear anything going on while I'm trying to gear up?
There's a change of noise, a shift in the cave room. That shrieking mushroom is quieting down. It's not a complete cutoff. It just kind of is running out of steam.
Right.
And then there's this skittering sound of the movement of the rust monster and the shuffles and groans of the zombie. So if they're interacting or if they're just close to each other, if they're looking around, so there's some movement over there, but nothing that is visible to you or immediate to where you're standing. Back to you, Murbus. Murbus at the door of doom.
There we go, pushing again. This time, hopefully, 15 will get it.
This time, you really, really give it your all, and there's maybe a sense of urgency. And you get the DC right on the money that time. And so it kind of takes everything you have in that moment, and you haul the door open, revealing a circular chamber beyond.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be a thing that has to happen quickly here, so you're going to make a quick decision.
Okay.
The door opens. There's a circular chamber on the inside. There are 2 stone pedestals. The one to the left has a grappling hook on the top of it, and the one to your right has some kind of potion, just like a simple phial on the top of it. As soon as you get that door open, those 2 stone pedestals, they start sinking pretty quickly, and they look like they're going to go and recess into the ground. Just another thing you quickly notice at the north end of the room, close to the exit, there is a smaller wooden pedestal, and the top is carved into the likeness of an owl. So,
Okay.
any quick decision on your part?
I guess I'm gonna run into the room and try and snag. Oh, do I want the grappling hook? Or, okay, I'm gonna let the dice decide. I'm gonna say on a 4, 5, or 6, we're going for the potion. Okay, it looks like we're gonna grab the potion.
Okay, you run in there and snatch up the potion right as the pedestal sinks beneath the floor and a stone covers it over. Both of them did the same thing, so the other one's out of sight now.
Sure. I guess I'll go over and inspect the owlbear statue or whatever it is.
An owl statue. Before you do that, do you shut the door?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, let's make sure we shut the door.
All right, so you are now at this, essentially a statue. Well, it's about as tall as you are, actually. A wooden
nice.
pedestal, and the top of it's carved into the likeness of an owl. Pretty well crafted object here. It's affixed to the floor at its base, and then there's this diagonal corridor leading northeast out of the chamber.
Does it just look like it's wood? There's nothing like odd or like
Only wood.
It's only made of wood? Okay.
The fasteners at the base would be iron bolts.
I don't think that there's any reason for me to mess with it. Is this a symbol of something that I would know?
Tell me a bit about Morpheus. Would you say he has a general familiarity of the major gods of the land?
I mean, I would imagine so, being a wizard and relatively well learned in like history. So
Makes
maybe
sense.
not the deep details of the religions, but at least enough to know who they are, what they are, etc.
The god of dreams, Morpheus, his primary icon is an owl. You are convinced this is a symbol of Morpheus the dreamer. This must be a sanctuary room.
Excellent. Okay, so with that knowledge, I will take a moment to sit on top of the statuette, doubling its height, and will pull out the staff from my storage hat, and we'll study it to try and get an idea what the heck this thing is.
Okay. Now a bit of calm to take a look at this staff. Well made, some runes etched into it. They are clearly runes related to the beneficial magic. Well, that's transmutation there, and that's necromancy. But you swear it's a beneficial variety of necromancy, not a conjuring fell powers sort of necromancy or reanimating corpses. Not that sort. If you are so inclined, you could spend an hour here. You could take a short rest, and you could even attune to the thing if you thought that was the right way to go.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm under the presumption that these rooms are safe, I don't see a reason to not spend an hour. Let's do it.
As far as you can tell, they don't seem harmful.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and you can also immediately tell it's got a +1 enhancement to it. So it's at very minimum a +1 quarterstaff.
+1 quarterstaff.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're sure it has some other magical property to it. Okay,
Yeah,
so you'll
let's-
spend an
let's-
hour.
Yeah, let's spend some time with it.
Okay, you'll spend an hour attuning to the staff. Mm-hmm. You're going to call this thing Staff of the Hardy Voyager. Whether you deduce that or it eventually comes back to you or you puzzle that out. Staff of the Hardy Voyager. It has 2 spells in there that can be cast through the staff. One is False Life, and that grants you temporary hit points. Mm-hmm. And the other one is Long Strider, and that increases your walking by 10 feet for an hour. Neither are
love that.
concentration spells. You can cast them once each per day.
Awesome. I am going to hold on to them and not cast them in case I run into some sort of anti-magic and lose them.
Okay.
I will cast them when the opportune moment presents itself. Well, I'm going to start
Mervis.
moseying my way down the hallway here. Do I see anything?
Come through the corridor, and it's leading to a larger room. A larger room that extends to the north. There is this ever-burning flame here, but that's only illuminating the south end of the room. And then across the way, if you were to continue eastward, there's this short corridor, and then another chamber, it would seem, at the far eastern end of it. there is a door, kind of a nicer looking door as far as you can tell. It looks wooden with some brass finishings. All is quiet.
All is quiet. I'm going to slowly
there's another detail.
Okay.
There's another detail as you're slinking along there. This larger room, it has a much higher ceiling. Everywhere else has a 10-foot ceiling, but this big room, it has a 25-foot high ceiling. The entire ceiling is covered in these giant spiders, like horse-sized giant spiders made of stone. Sculptures, it would seem, fused to the ceiling.
Okay, so watch out for Medusas and basilisks. So I don't want any part of that. I'm gonna continue slinking my way.
Before you step,
Okay.
I'm going to give you a free perception check. There's something
Okay.
you might notice.
11.
When you step forward, vicious spikes stab up at you from the floor. They come right out of the floor. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I'll take I guess it's a 17, 18.
Success. And we'll go right to your turn now, and we can assume you've jumped back. Is that what you would have done?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't have
Okay.
jumped forward.
Okay, so you've just jumped back. You also notice at the north end of this room, there are these 4 alcoves that have stoneware pots or urns in them. Go ahead. What would you do on your turn?
What do I want to do? How do I use my little gnome body to not trip these traps? Okay, I'm not gonna stick my feet out, but I am going to put my face back out around the corner there and get a better gander at what's going on with these pots or whatever they are in the alcoves. Can you tell me more about what's going on there?
It's hard to see. It's real dim over there. There's no lighting. You're squinting at the very far extent of your dark vision. So as far as you can tell, they're just identical, fairly plain stoneware urns or vessels with lids on them. They're each one sitting in an alcove.
Okay, I'll just create with minor illusion, like a little fanciful shower of sparks to briefly illuminate the area.
There's a shower of sparks that you prestidigitate there at the north end of the chamber. Nothing really strikes you, though. There's no effect, nothing happens, everything is kind of still. The urns all are fairly nondescript.
Okay, how big are they?
They are just under a foot tall each.
Okay. Can I use Mage Hand to heave one over?
On your next turn, you can. Before we get to your next turn, something happens. The second urn jostles. The lid pops up, and an apparition flies from it, just streaks right towards you, and attempts to stab you with a spectral dagger.
Jeez. Okay.
You've only poked your head. You have 3/4 cover, plus 5 to your AC.
Okay, I'll take that.
15 to hit. Sounds like the wall has saved you.
That's fortunate.
The ghostly blade stabs into the stone just an inch away from your nose, and the apparition disappears as quickly as it came. Back to your turn.
What? So it's not a monster, per se. Let's cast False Life on myself. Dip fully behind the wall and cast
All
False
right.
Life. Yeah.
2d4 plus 4 temporary hit points.
Let's roll them. 3, so 7.
Excellent.
So I just more than doubled my hit points. I'm gonna pop my head back around the corner, just eyeballs out, just one eyeball. Is that urn still, like, is the top still open? Does it look like the top of the urn fell over?
It's just sitting there. The urn is sitting there. The lid is ever so slightly cocked. All is still otherwise.
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to heave over the third urn.
Okay. The urn topples to the floor, and some ashen parts spill out of it, and the urn cracks. I don't know if it totally shatters into fragments, but it's definitely been damaged. And where it slams into the ground, spikes jut up.
What does the urn look like it's made of now that it's fractured on the ground? Like, is this something that I could clumsily... Okay, does it look like something I could clumsily pick up with Mage Hand, or is that too heavy for it?
You suspect your mage hand could lift the urn.
Okay. Yeah, let's pick up the next urn, or the fourth one.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you do anything in between these two mage hand castings?
No.
Okay. In between the two mage hand castings, the second urn rustles once again, and the apparition flies out at you once more.
Okay.
And we'll do the same as before. You've taken such cover behind the wall that you have +5 to your AC. A natural 1. Okay, the thing sort of fizzles out, kind of phases out before it even reaches you. So you're safe that time. And then you're using Mage Hand a second time to do what?
So I'm going to adjust what I was doing because that apparition is still flying out of the urn. I'm going to pick up that urn that the apparition is flying out of. I'm going to lift it and carry it. Oh, do I want it closer to me? I don't want it closer to me. I'm just going to heave it over and break it open.
Okay. You're slamming the urn in an attempt to destroy it.
Correct.
Roll a d6 of damage. Okay. So you slam it against the floor. It cracks the thing. You haven't totally destroyed it. It was just 2 damage, but you did crack it. The spikes finish the job and destroy the urn.
Okay.
That apparition's no longer.
How in the world am I going to get across this thing? I grabbed the file. Let's chug it and see what it does.
Okay. Well, before you chug, the smell hits your nose, and you can tell it's a potion of healing.
Okay.
It has that kind of light, creamy, pleasant aroma to it.
Okay. Well, there's a sconce on the wall, right?
There is.
Man, a grappling hook would have been nice right here. How rough are the walls? Are they climbable? I mean, I'm on a tiny little gnome.
They're not
I get
rough.
my little fingers
they
in
are
the
well-footed masterwork masonry.
Okay.
You could attempt to climb it, but
No,
it would be very
good.
difficult.
Right. Oh,
Do you have proficiency with athletics by chance?
Nope.
Okay, I would say your character would perceive these walls as unclimbable then.
Okay.
I don't think there's any chance you could pull it off.
Right. Do I want to just try and bolt across?
Do you want to use Long Strider
man.
just to go as fast as you can?
Yeah, let's juice up the Long Strider, I guess. And I'm just going to try and, as parkour as possible, get a running start.
Yeah.
I'm just going to head back, get a running start, and Jackie Chan my way across the wall and try and jump and sprint, and bam, here we go.
Okay, so you leap out, and your leap is probably less than spectacular. And when you land, the spikes do jut up. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that was terrifying. Almost a 1. So I'll take a 15.
You hit the ground, and just as soon as the spikes stab, you juke to the side, and it just barely misses, like clipping the side of your shoe, and you fling yourself ahead, propelled by the extra oomph provided by the Long Strider, and make your way into this smallish corridor on the other side, otherwise unscathed, and there is laughter. Ha 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 ha! That's the funniest thing I've seen in days! The door is speaking to you. There's this polished wooden door with brass fittings, and the center of the door is a brass face. It looks kind of like an orc's face. It's laughing at you.
I take it as a compliment and ask the door what else he's seen in the past few days.
Some orcs, and they died. You're not an orc. What are you, some kind of hairy goblin?
A gnome, in fact. Mervis the cobbler.
A
the
what?
The cobbler, the finest salesman of leather goods, trinkets, and baubles. Do you know where I could find any down here?
Never heard of it before. I thought you were going to get skewered on those spikes, though.
No, fortunately, I will not be a spit roast for whatever rust monster and zombies are down here today. Tell me, though, good door, sir? Are you, ma'am, sir, door, sir? I don't know.
What the hell are you babbling about?
Would you be so kind as to open yourself and reveal the door on the other side, or the contents of the room on the other side of your existence?
No. There is a door handle, and there's a keyhole built as part of the door handle.
Okay.
I'm not letting you in here. Why don't you go back a ways? Have another good look at those spikes.
Okay. I'll peek my head back out and look at the spikes.
Take a closer look. Put your face right in there.
Yeah, no. There was one more urn that I did not knock over.
There were two others. There's the first
Okay.
one and the fourth one.
Okay. While the door is heckling me, unless I perceive as some sort of threat from the door other than just general jeering, I'm going to use Mage Hand to just go through the process of, removing the cap from the urns, flipping the urns upside down, dumping the ash out, generally mucking about with the ash, just looking for a key that might be in one of those 4 urns.
The first urn you topple over, and it produces no spectacular effect. The fourth urn has a spirit that comes out of it, though not a screaming thing. It's a spirit of some cloaked, forlorn man. A dreadful place this is. I offer you one of these. It reveals the inside of one side of its cloak. It has a scroll of the spell Command, or a scroll of the spell Thunderwave, or a bag, just a small sack, like a small cloth pouch. Mm-hmm. It hit, the spirit kind of strikes at it with the finger and makes a nice clickety-clack sound.
Clickety-clack sound. I don't want the Thunderwave spell. That seems like cheating. I'm trying to do a pacifist run. And I've got Charm Person as a spell, so I'm not quite sure how good Command... Ooh. In a last-minute pinch, it could be good, though. But what's in that bag? I'm going to go for the bag. I'm going to lean into the mystery.
Well, you did mention you were going to find all the gems in this place, so
That's
this
true.
might be it right here. The hovering spirit floats to you, hands you the bag, which materializes into your palm. Mm-hmm. Best fortune to you. And it vanishes away as though fog in the dawning sun's rays. And inside are 1d10 turquoise gems.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a d10.
I'll take 4. That's fine.
You have found 4 turquoise gems. They have a value of 10 gold pieces each.
40 gold.
Are you done
Okay,
fondling that old man's sack?
Well, indeed I am, and I'll be able to afford the fondulation of my own sack when I get back to town. But
Oh, you
could
ain't getting
tell
out of
me-
here alive. You're gonna die like everyone else has.
Oh, really? So describe the door in more detail to me. How big is the mouth?
The brass orc face, it's got a diameter of maybe 10 inches or so. Polished brass, other brass fittings on the door, brass door handle. The door itself is wood, lacquered. A really nice looking door.
Is there anything about the
Aren't I a
face-
beauty?
Yeah, is there anything about the face that would indicate that it is directly connected to the doorknob, or that me manipulating the doorknob in any way would put me in danger of the face?
Nothing obviously strikes you as danger. I mean, maybe if you stuck your hand into its mouth, it could bite
Sure.
you. Coming close, huh? Come take a nice close look. I'll bite those big ass ears off. Arr.
I'm going to take a step back from the door and just grab my healing staff and prod the door with the healing staff. Give it a good 10-foot poke.
Hey, cut that out. You prod the door.
Nothing indicates to me that the door is not made of wood, correct?
It seems to be exactly as it appears.
Okay. So I'm just going to assume that it's a magic mouth spell and go for the door and open it.
The door is locked. You're not getting in there.
You've got to be kidding me.
No. You think I'm a joking sort?
I have a scholar's pack. I do not have any lockpicks. Okay, let's think. Is there a keyhole?
Yep.
I'm gonna put my eyeball up to the keyhole and look through the door. What's in there? Do I have any visual idea of what's on the other side?
It's illuminated from the other side. There's some sort of room. It's a bit bigger, you think, than the room that you're currently in, but otherwise, there's not much to make out just through a keyhole.
Sure. Is there a gap underneath the door at all that I could look through?
Not much of a gap, just a slight gap. And you put your face down, and again, there's some illuminated room on the other side. Nothing that you're really noticing.
Why don't you just take a nice nap? Think about it good and long.
Yeah. Okay. I asked the face if it has an ability to unlock the door.
I could unlock myself if I wanted to, but I don't. Your big dumb ears, your big dumb nose, your big dumb hat, you ain't getting through.
I ask it what would it need of me to be able to open the door? Surely the door has something that it wants.
I need nothing from you. I'm just a door. What could I want?
What side are the hinges on?
Your side would be a pull-open door.
I do have some oil and some parchment. I tell the door that if he doesn't open it up, I'm going to set the door on fire.
No, you're not. You wouldn't do that.
Okay, well, you don't have to believe me. You can just watch me do it. So
the orcish face, spites you and is just absolutely uncooperative.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna take some parchment and shred it up a little bit, tighten it up into a bundle, start jamming it into... It's a double door, correct?
Single door.
Single door. Okay, I'm going to jam it underneath the... rip out pages out of my book and stuff it up underneath the door. I've got some oil soaked onto it, and then prestidigitate, and bam!
All right. Between a mix of parchment and oil and cantrip, you get the door blazing and melt brass, do enough damage to it that you get the thing busted open. And the orc face is just wailing the whole time.
Ah, damn you to hell!
And he curses you this way and that, and you eventually get this door damaged enough that you've opened it.
What have you done to my door?
There's a person on the other side fretting. He's about your height, actually, about your size, is wearing a black leathern raven's mask. Also has some obnoxious pointy ears from behind the mask. He's wearing a cloak, but you can tell under the cloak he's got some light armor and a few weapons.
My beautiful door!
Oh, he cursed at me. I'm so sorry. I had to destroy it because he was cursing at me, and he was so foul and profane. But I would be more than happy to help you reassemble the door.
Reassemble? So you're forfeiting?
Forfeiting what?
It's gonna take at least 3 days to get the parts in for that.
I mean, sure, but...
We'll be working at that day and night. That was a work of art, a beautiful thing.
It was gorgeous.
I'll need to get an artisan in here.
It was very naughty. Tell you what. Help me complete the rest of this dungeon, and I'll be sure... look, I've already
I will do no
gemstones.
such thing. I'm not helping you one lick. Go.
He points eastward.
Okay, fine. Charm person. Here we go.
You chant your charm person, to which he makes a wisdom saving throw. Is that right?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
I'm loving this.
Oh, no.
You try that again. You're dead meat.
And his hand goes under his cloak as though resting on the pommel of some weapon. His other hand points eastward.
Go.
Let's see. So I've still got the smoldering door in front of me.
My beautiful self.
The orc face is rather despondent.
Let's see. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Okay. Let's blackmail the goblin. I'm going to mage hand up the orc face that has been burned off of the door and say, look, either you help me or I will take this and throw it into the spike trap and you'll never be able to repair your door again. Is that what you want? I'm just looking for a little information and a little help, and I promise I will use these turquoise that I've found to help you rebuild your door. I'll even get you the finest teak and mahogany. It will be even more gorgeous than before. Not that it was not gorgeous. It will be a tough feat to find fine hardwoods to repair this door. I assure you that. But I will come back in 3 days' time with all the appropriate materials and cover all the expenses myself. You have my apologies for destroying your door.
The raven-masked goblin looks at the turquoise in your palm.
Bullshit.
He draws a short sword and points it right at you.
Put that down now and go.
He seems quite furious.
Okay, so am I putting the I've got the brass thing, right?
Yeah.
Am I gonna fling it into the spears? Like, he recognizes that that's gonna happen, right? Like, I'm just clear that if I put that down, it's going into the spear traps.
He takes a step.
I am Raven,
He takes a step.
keeper of Ratsfray. I am not to be trifled with. Put
All
that
right, I'm
down and go.
I'm gonna burn my last first level spell and try to charm him one more time.
Ooh, I will give him advantage now. Because he's in
that's
sort of
right.
a hostile mood.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it?
Oh man, I do not want to get in a fracas with a goblin. Yeah, I've got to do it.
You got to do it? Okay.
Yeah, I got to do it.
So roll with advantage. Here we go.
There we go. I like that.
How did you do that?
You can see his eyes through the mask begin to enthrall.
Mm-hmm.
And the sword, comes down.
That was incredible.
What specifically was incredible, if you don't mind me asking, good friend?
That trick you did.
What trick? I was just convincing.
Those words. I've never heard that
Yes, well,
before.
it was just me convincing you. But here,
You're very persuasive.
but here, as I said, I will give you so I give him the door, or the brass face of the door. I float it over to him so he can pick it up.
Wow. You can move things with your mind.
I can, and I will walk into the door. So tell me, what is it you do down here, good friend?
I am the keeper of Ratsfray. I greet anyone who can make it this far. You've impressed me with surviving to this point without a wound on you. There are 3 ways. I'm not supposed to tell you which way leads to which. Oh, and there's these
but you
doors
can
here.
give me
there are
some
these doors
advice,
here.
though.
Yes. Would you like an ally? There are 3 potential allies. Behind 2 of the doors, there's a goat, a testy mountain goat, and behind one door there is a lizard man, a warrior. Yes, he's quite strong. You can select one door, and whoever's behind it will be your companion. They will go along with you and obey your commands. Just try to keep the commands simple. Yes.
Sure. Can I have all 3?
Oh, no.
I don't
wish
want to
could.
put you out of any trouble. So if you need 2 of them to stay here, that's fine. Which door has the lizard man behind it?
Well, see, I'm not supposed to say.
Oh, I know.
Ironheart
you don't have
will
to.
be very, very cross with me.
So
he
if
you're
mentions his
under
name
like
Ironheart, and you know that there are higher authorities that are constructing this Gauntlet sprawl district.
okay.
You could try to convince him, though. You could try to persuade him to kind of betray his.
No, I don't want him
superiors.
to. I don't want him to, violate any legal contracts that he's entered into
Okay.
by guarding this gauntlet. So I'm not going to push him. Let's see.
There is one thing that I will help you with, though.
Okay.
Choose your door, and before you open it, I will open one of the goat doors and give you the chance to change your selection if you would like.
Okay. Well, if you can show me a goat door, I will. Okay. So I will take this door in the north, but show me a goat door.
Before you open that one, see here.
And he reveals there's a goat in there.
Okay. So then
Would you
I
like
will
to keep
switch.
with the northern door or go to the
No,
southern
I will
door?
switch to the southern gate because of the odd laws of probability.
I would like you to make a perception check. It's a free thing that I'm offering you.
Sure, 13, 15.
15. Okay.
16.
16. Success.
Okay.
Just before the southern doors opened, you notice that Raven's eyes are making a slight motion towards the northern door.
Okay. Oh.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
Perhaps my original choice was a good idea. And I will proceed to open my original choice.
You barely even finish your sentence. Oh, yes, I understand. And he opens it, and out saunters a scaled lizard man.
Hates closet.
He has a carapace shield with spikes affixed to it. He also has some javelins.
Okay.
Next one. Short.
He looks you up and down.
Mostly just down.
He looks you down and further down.
Yep.
The Raven says,
This here is Siktas. He does not speak so well our tongue, but he will understand simple commands. Do not betray him and he will not become treacherous.
Oh, I love that. Well, it is time for both of us to get out of this gauntlet alive. My good friend Raven, do you have any more advice of which direction that would lead us in most expeditious and safe retreat out of this gauntlet from these 3 tunnels?
he looks at you, he looks to the tunnels, he has a bit of consternation on his face as though he's in a mental struggle between what his directives are and wanting to help you, his new and charming friend. He's biting this tongue that is trying to betray him. Do you push it? You might be able to convince him to betray his orders.
You know, it would be really nice if someone were to whistle very loudly if I walked in the direction that was most beneficial. Don't you think, Lizard Man? And I just start walking in the southerly direction while jeering at the Lizard Man.
I would like you to make a persuasion check, and you have advantage.
Okay, so 2d20. So I'll take a well over 20.
There is a casual stroll of Raven who looks this way and that, and, you know, just, man, look at that door over there.
Really did a number on that door. Incredible. We go.
So the southern tunnel does seem to be indicated as a...
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, you said the more beneficial way to go.
Yeah.
You went to this other one.
Okay. All right. Well, come on, Lizard Man.
Best of luck to you, enthralling one.
Thank you very much, Raven. One last question. Did you have anything that you might be able to loan me to help me indicate to you what would be a good shop or something for me to help you rebuild the door?
Oh, I will have that taken care of. There is an artisan who will come in. It won't be the first time it's been rebuilt.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I would just like to apologize again. And remember, tomorrow, I know this may seem very disturbing, but just remember, it's all for the best, and I wish you the best. And that's the truth.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Okay. All right, Lizard
So
Man,
he
let's go.
he wishes you well as you and the Lizard Man enter into this southern corridor. Another one of those iron gates lowers. The iron gate comes down from behind, and you are locked into this selection. You are in a masonry corridor. It is lit with these smaller blue arcane flames, providing a dim illumination. Your dark vision can see quite well in that. There is a eastward bend in the corridor.
Okay, I'm just gonna slowly poke my head out.
I back.
And I turn and look at the Lizard Man. What?
I back or I front head.
You back unless I tell you otherwise.
I back.
He draws a
For now.
He draws a javelin, and he gets it equipped in case he might need it. To the east, there is what looks to be a smaller chamber, again with the dim flame.
Okay. Is there anything in this long hallway that would indicate that there are like slots in the walls, any gaps in the ceilings, anything on the floor that would indicate more of those spear traps, or something else effectually similarly dangerous?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. What is that? What is it? 16?
You don't notice anything in the structure of the place that causes you concern. You hear a little bit of movement in the room up ahead. It seems to be on the left-hand side from behind the entrance there to that small chamber.
Okay.
It's not a loud noise nor a heavy noise, almost like a slight scampery movement, paws of a small animal, perhaps.
Okay.
That sort of sound.
I'm going to try and duplicate that same sound. Yeah, so somewhere over in this corner, like just out of view. What happens if I am like just slinking up a little bit and I throw that same sound over there?
It's a very quiet sound, just a very soft scampering sound. You would not have heard it unless you rolled high enough on the perception.
Gotcha.
And then from where you heard the noise comes sneaking out, curiously, a giant rat. And it goes over and, its rodent nose sniffs about where you had made the illusory distraction.
Okay. I'm going to slink back and say there are giant rats up ahead. Big rats. Shh.
No killing.
Rat. I kill.
He clenches his javelin and his spiked shield and licks his lizard jaws.
I kill.
He
Okay,
seems...
I give him a hand gesture to like hold back. And I'm going to slowly slink up.
Make a stealth check with your slinking.
Okay. There we go. I like that. I'll take a 20.
Okay, the rat thing is none the wiser. Is sniffing about, looking about.
Yeah, I'll give the lizard man a gentle hand motion to slowly approach.
Okay, I will also roll a stealth check. And this will be for Brave Sikdas. Okay, he's just got a plain d20 roll. 11. So the two of you are slinking along, and the rat has not made any indication that it's noticed you. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking we are going to just continue making noises with minor illusion until we get to a fork in the road and scuttle the rat in a different direction.
Okay, so you want to lure the rat continually away from you all.
Right.
Okay. So here's how this is going to end up. You've led the rat to this northward corridor, a wider corridor, and you can tell this is basically some kind of intersection where those three tunnels are meeting back together. So the rat is getting led away, and you see to the east there is a heavy stone double door.
Okay. Just because I'm a little concerned about what was to the west and why we were told by Raven to not mess with that door, I'm just going to poke my head out, just one eyeball, and see what is this. That would have been terrible.
It looks like a pool. Yeah, it looks like a cave pool, and it's not lit in there at all. So it's just a dim shadowy view for you.
Okay.
But there's a ledge that drops off into some sort of cavern pool.
Okay. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to shuffle back over to the lizard man and ask him to hang out right here and guard that door and not kill anything unless he absolutely has to. But just let me know if he hears something.
Oh, there. Listen. No killing.
Big talk. Yes.
You repeat the command a couple times, try to make it as simple as possible. He seems to get the gist.
Okay.
And he goes into that corner, and you approach the stony double door.
Okay. Let's give it a look. What's going on with the door?
It's another one of those plain ones, much like what you encountered back towards the beginning. where there's just this jut that you can grip to pull it open. Otherwise, it's just a smooth hunk of stone with no embellishments.
Okay. With that, I'm going to turn over to the lizard man, give him a hand motion, and say, push.
He grips it and pulls. The rat, we'll say, is meandering where you have led it with your illusion.
Okay.
In the northwestern direction there.
Perfect.
If you would like to roll a strength check, you're more than welcome to. Seekthas already succeeded, so no need.
Yeah. No need for me to try and help him. Okay, so with that, I guess we can...
There is a circular chamber lit with a
Yep.
bluish, dim, ever-burning flame. On the walls, etched in relief, are iconography of Morpheus the Dreamer, particularly a stylized temple with supporting columns and an owl perched at the peak of the temple.
Cool. So I'll pull in. I'll ask Lizard Man to close the door. And I will... Can I rest here long enough to get my spells back?
You have 3 hours in which to complete the gauntlet.
So, Lizard Man,
You know,
door.
you've taken no damage. You have temporary hit points. You have long strider.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be fine.
should be fine. Famous last words. All right.
All right, so it takes a bit, maybe a few heave hoes, and Seekthas gets the next door opened, which
Okay.
again continues with this like 10-foot wide section of corridor, and it curves, it bends northward, and it's opening into some manner of complex, it would
Okay.
seem.
Just gonna take a peek down the hallway, stick an eyeball out.
Yeah, straight north, there's this wide corridor-like shape, but there's ways to go. There's inlets on both left and the right. You see some rats, just regular rats, not giant ones, and they're
Right.
doing
Ones as big as
what
my
rats do. Yeah. They're just, scrounging about.
Okay.
They seem to be
they
coming
don't-
mainly from this inlet.
And they don't seem to be alarmed by anything, correct?
The ones that are closest to you, they maybe they'll take notice of you as a natural rat would do and would keep some distance.
Sure. But they, there's nothing else in the room that seems to be giving them concern.
Correct.
With that, I guess I'm gonna slink up and hand motion the lizard folk to stay right on me. And I'm gonna have... Let's see, I don't think the lizard folk is gonna be good with CQB tactics here. I'm gonna look down the east hallway here without sticking my head out as much as possible.
There's a ledge, and it drops into what looks like a pool, like a constructed pool.
And then I'm gonna flop to the other wall and look the other direction.
To the west, that way seems to have a pit or a recessed area. So this area here is about 20 feet down. The elevation goes to -20 there. And then there's this ledge that's, amply wide. That's, on the western wall there. You see a couple of spear traps that have already been activated. One of them even has the remains of some other gauntlet runner skewered through it.
That's cool. I'm gonna jump around the corner and study the wall a little bit more. Does it look like there are other locations where spears might fly out of the wall?
Make a perception check.
14?
You don't notice anything else, so as best you can tell, those are the 2 spear traps that have already activated.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump back and hand motion to the lizard man.
Hey, go get stuff. Come back with it.
And I point at the dead
Dead
body.
man.
Yeah.
Dead man.
And then bring it back.
He flicks his tongue, moves his reptilian head this way and that, ever wary for whatever dangers might be present. And he goes over and works at the largely skeletal remains.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll something. Not that he really has any chance of failure at this task, but it's just more a matter of how much time and work and effort this takes him.
Sure.
Okay, so he's able to get the thing unspeared, unhooked, or whatever you want to call that.
Untangled up. Yep.
Yep, with relative ease. So it probably doesn't take him more than just a couple of turns. And then he will bring this pretty fetid and stinking remains of some sorry adventurer back over to you. And he just like drops it at your feet. Ugh. He getting his shield reaffixed back onto his arm.
Gotcha. Pilfering the body really fast. Does it look like there's anything usable on the corpse that we should be taking with us?
Roll a D100.
84.
There is some pouch, and it's a larger, more elaborate pouch with different pockets and a couple larger segments. And there's a whole bunch of accoutrement in there. Different types of clothing. What are these? Costumes, fake hair, different kinds of makeup.
Okay.
So was it some actor? It's a disguise kit.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, I'll sling that on my back, or stick it in my hat, and I'm gonna slink down. If I can, I'm gonna slink down here and just poke my head out. What do I see in here?
There's this pool, obviously man-made, and there are some inlets on the western side that you can't quite see. 4 stepping stones are just above the surface of the water. They are connected to the bottom of the pool, though, so they're essentially like squarish columns that just come up over the water. And then you can see the far end of the pool. You just can't see in these western inlets due to the blocking terrain.
Do I get this sensation that this is water? Like, it doesn't smell like acid or anything, right?
Just water.
Okay. I'm going to dip my pinky finger in there real quick just to give a temperature check, get a vibe check.
Yeah, you dip your pinky in. It's definitely cool water. Otherwise, looks fairly clean.
Okay.
Still water.
Lizard man, come here.
Swim, good,
Yeah, what's in this room? Tell me.
And I point over here at that inlet that I can't see. There we go.
He slinks into the water, loping, and goes in, and he swims very well. His whole spinal column, tail and all, goes swishing this way and that. And, he goes in there and then comes back and pops his head out, looking at you from where you stand there on the ledge.
No, door, is not.
Okay.
He struggles a bit to express himself, but doesn't seem like he really found much.
No doors.
We do need to enter into initiative at this moment, though.
Oh, okay.
For purposes and reasons. There is a sound, a splash, a disturbance in the water here at this northwestern inlet. There's something moving up there, and it rouses that danger sense, right? That adventurer sense of, oh, there's something coming in the water.
Something over there. Okay. I'm gonna whisper, get up, shh, and I slink back into the door. Well, I'll keep my eye out,
Okay.
but I'm gonna position my body so that it's like around the corner. Just watching what that is.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and leave your token there. That way it gives you, the player, the view of it, but we'll understand that you've gotten as much cover as you can afford yourself. Do you have an action?
Other than that, no.
Okay, we'll just say you've done dodge. The thing comes into view, swimming in the water. A giant frog, a medium-sized frog with bulbous,
We gotta get out of here.
hungry amphibian eyes. And it comes swimming in the water, and it speeds towards Sikthas, a hungry amphibious predator it has dashed. We go to Sikthas's turn, who makes all kinds of ruckus. And he draws a javelin and he stabs at the frog. A
So
vicious,
much for the pacifist run.
a vicious warrior. He makes 2 attacks. He stabs at the giant frog with his short spear and he bites at it with his reptilian jaws, though I don't think he actually hit the thing with either of those attacks. Oh, he actually did. He hit with the one that was an 11. He stabbed the thing. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess this thing's AC is not great. It's just a frog, right? All right, he deals 3 damage to the giant frog. It's back to you, Murbus.
Okay, I am going to cast Prestidigitation to create an absolute cacophony of noise and fireworks around the eye to try and around its eyes to try and distract it. And I will dip back over here. So, boop. Bye.
Before you do the movement, make an Arcana check. This is going to determine the specifics of the effectiveness of your trick there.
Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, so sparks, fumes assail the eyes of the slimy creature in the water, and it seems to have some problems with that. It's being confuzzled. It is quite confuzzled.
Is a good word. Okay.
By what you have done there, and it will. I think it's going to spend its action to essentially right itself. It's confused. It's sort of overwhelmed and disoriented momentarily. So we'll say that's its action. It's kind of out for a round there, and Sikthas just takes advantage of that and continues to assail the thing. He will make his 2 attacks once again, stab and bite. And once again, the javelin is the one that finds purchase and deals 4 more damage to the amphibian. Murbus, what do you got?
I'm going to pitter patter my way. I've got Long Strider.
Okay,
Gotcha.
So here's what's happened. You've moved, 4 or 5 feet. You might notice something right here before you step forward. Make a perception check.
No, I don't. On a 4 with a critical failure.
Murbus, you step forward unwittingly into a trap as you put your foot down and apply your weight. A pit swings open and you fall 20 feet down to the bottom, sustaining
No deck save, no nothing.
sustaining 4 damage.
Oh my gosh.
Alas, no, you are not slow enough to allow a deck save.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, the damage roll is quite low though, so you're just not very heavy, and you hit the ground less painfully than it might have been for some, and it's shaved 4 off of your temporary hit points is what happened.
Okay.
All right, so you've used up your speed. Let's say you still have your action. You're prone.
I guess there's really not much I can do.
Dash for stand up.
I'll stand up and start hollering for the lizard folk.
Okay. So you holler. There's the sound of like the struggle in the water. So whatever he's doing, that's still going on. Let me roll a thing here and then another thing. You hear a great and emboldening sound from the lizard man. And there's this sound of like distress and great pain from the frog. And on your turn, what do you do?
I'm going to grab my staff and stick the staff in the ground and try and like climb up the staff and the wall to get halfway up so that when the lizard folk comes over, I can reach him by like if he lays down on his belly and reaches his arm down. You
jam the staff and you go and you kind of lean it against the wall and you're like standing on the tip of the staff with your small gnomish feet, and you're calling out for the lizard man to come avail you, and you're waiting. There's again a sound of splashing in the water. Some epic battle between cold-blooded creatures must certainly be playing out over there in the pool. And then Sikthos comes into view.
Okay.
He's moved here, and he's at the top of the pit looking down at you.
And I reach my little gnome hand up and say, please!
He is getting down onto his belly and taking hold of your hand.
Okay.
And it's a 20-foot pit. It's going to require some tiptoe stretching on your part.
Sure.
This seems more of a balancing act, I would say. Make an acrobatics check.
So what is that? 11?
11. All right. There's some wavering and some faltering. Let's see what the lizard man can do for his dexterity. His is quite good. So
Okay.
right before you were about to slip off of the staff, he grasps your fingers and pulls, and your knuckles pop, but do not dislocate. And he hauls you up out of the pit.
Love it. Okay.
Death
So-
hole.
Good job on frog.
Thing. Kill I. I kill. I kill.
You
Thing
kill.
I kill.
Yeah, I killed. Good job. Can you jump?
Jump.
And I point across the pit.
Jump. Yes.
Okay. So I mime to him, and I'm gonna crawl up onto his back.
Yeah.
You piggyback. He gets a
Yep.
running start and then leaps across. And
Okay.
we are going to be going back into our initiative order here.
Okay.
We're going to be resuming the initiative count. There is a great amount of squeaking rodent agitation from this inlet ahead and to the right-hand side. Merbus, it's your go.
I'm gonna say, with all these rats, that there's more rats, like a swarm of them or something, over there.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run up. Oh, what? What do rats fear? They don't like foxes. I'm going to make a extremely terrible stench of a fox, like a fox urine, at the door or at the opening of this thing with minor illusion.
Okay, you put a vulpine musk there where the rat swarm would have to cross in order to reach at you. The smell is rank and pungent.
Lovely.
Do you stay where you are?
I'm gonna motion for the lizard folk to just run across, and I'm gonna go right there.
Let's see. Rats. You know what? Give me another one of those Arcana checks. Let's see how much juice you can put in the illusory juice.
7 plus 6 is 13. Yeah.
13. All right. So you do your best, and it for the moment it seems to be, giving them pause. They seem to be afraid of it or disoriented by the stench. The rats are not pouring out, at least at the moment. The lizard man runs. He goes
Excellent.
He goes running, basically full speed, a dash to here. Okay.
Okay.
So he dashes and goes around the bend that's just straight ahead of you, and I suppose you're in tandem, is that
Yeah.
right?
I'm gonna run to the corner, stick my head around, and say, "Slow down," because I just want to be able to see what's around the corner.
There is another bend. This time it's
Okay.
going to cut back to the north.
Okay.
Do you still have your action?
I guess we can just continue moving up. And
All right,
investigate.
You see that
bend.
there's an unlit corner here, but it's just this one little corner. The wall there's something to the wall here. There's a ledge and an opening. There's like a cavity or a cave up there, like the ceiling goes up to 10 feet, but not at that one part. There's some kind of like cave or cavity that's up there.
Gotcha.
And then
okay.
this seems like it's a bend, like to the north and then back around to the west.
Like a hairpin. Okay. All right. I'll motion for Lizard Man to join me. And I will slowly poke my head around. Ooh, we got a little bit of a gnome hole I can hide in.
Yeah.
I like a good gnome hole. Okay, so if the hallway looks relatively safe, and I don't hear anything, right?
Other than the squeaking rats to the south, there
Right.
is a softer sound, an insectile flutter of wings beyond where you cannot see, like beyond
Okay.
a protrusion of the masonry.
Gotcha. A little buzzing
Just that.
of wings.
It doesn't seem to be coming closer to you. It just seems like there's some movement back there.
Okay. I will slink over to this alcove or whatever. No, it's above me, isn't it? You
It's
said.
above you, yeah. So imagine
Okay.
you're looking up the wall, and the wall even right there has a bit of a more rough stone as opposed to masonry.
Okay.
And then it goes up maybe 7.5 feet, and then it opens. There's this cave or cavity pocket, a hollow in the wall and in the ceiling.
Okay. I'm going to motion for Lizard Man to come over here and ask him, "What's up there?" and point at the ledge.
We'll get to his turn now, and he will come into a dash here, and he's looking up there.
See not.
And your question actually is answered presently as a large-sized creature comes swooping down.
Oh,
A
wonderful.
giant bat. And it looks towards the lizard man, scaled, spiky, armed, and towards the small, unarmed morsel, and decides that you are its prey, in fact. And it swoops down upon you, Murbus, with bat fangs, and will
Okay.
bite at you from above.
Do your worst, giant bat.
Well, it was almost its worst, a natural 2. This is just one above its worst. And you dodge from its snapping fangs. What do you do next?
I guess if it's my turn, I'm going to cast Minor Illusion to create the sound. Can I create the sound of its own echolocation? Like, as if it were squeaking out to echolocate. Can I put the shape of an object that looks like a giant fox in echolocation?
Okay, that's a very cunning solution, an advanced
Okay.
maneuver. I'm favoring that Arcana check. I'm liking that as a good
I like it
go-to
too.
for,
That's a good way to go.
direct in the middle of combat, disorient a foe. So roll that. I'd say
Okay.
this is a bit more advanced of a technique.
Oh
I'd say
no!
it's a cool idea. It was a great idea. You're just not quite sure how to pull that off. So you kind of like give it
Okay.
your best, and it doesn't seem to register with the
Okay.
bat.
Sure. I guess with that, I'm going to dip behind the wall.
You
And
will provoke an opportunity attack.
we are playing 5th edition, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, I'll stay put.
You stay put. Okay.
Yeah.
You decide to not risk that, and
Yep.
the lizard man springs into action, the complete opposite of your pacifist self, and goes swinging his spiked shield, or thrusting perhaps, along with his javelin. 13 and 11. The 13 connects.
Excellent.
Here we go. It is 6 damage, which is a light wound to the giant bat. The thing is focused on Murbus the gnome presently. We'll see what happens maybe if its mind gets changed. It bites at you once more. Again, you evade its snapping fangs.
I love that.
What do you have, Murbus? Your turn.
I think with that, rather than trying to go for some crazy echolocation shape, I'm just going to make a bunch of echolocative sounds, as if there's just a bunch of giant bats in here all around us, if that makes sense. Something far more easier to do. Just to disorient it.
Mm-hmm. To disorient it. Okay. Try once again your Arcana check. I'll say this is sort of a repeat or retry as you're experimenting with this.
5 plus 6 is 11.
11. The thing you're hoping for is not working out.
Okay.
You're definitely getting a distinct sense that it's hard to understand exactly how this thing is functioning. There's something that you're not quite getting. It may be just that the biology of it is so foreign to you. So you give it a try. It's a clever thought. It just doesn't pan out like you had hoped for.
Sure.
The hungry mammalian predator on giant wings, snapping at you with its fangs. Do you stay where you are?
I'm going to stay where I'm at. Miss a third time!
Your reptilian ally, who has been quite the boon this whole time, is having a struggle and is unable to connect. The spiked shield just kind of thuds off of the thing's hide and doesn't quite cause any puncturing. The stab strikes at the wrong angle, and the bat manages to evade it, and it's flapping its wings. There's quite the flutter right there in your face, and its fangs flash once more, going for some tender area upon you, and this time I believe it connects with a 16 to hit.
That will connect.
It bites you like so many needles upon your skin, this time breaking through the remainder of your temporary hit points and carrying over to one true hit point of damage. Morpheus, what do you do?
I'm going to disengage and bounce behind the wall. And leave it for the lizard folk to finish.
Okay. You get behind the wall, doing a cunning defensive maneuver, and your ally is apparently dead set on viciously defeating the flying predator.
Yeah, get him!
The shield whiffs, but the short spear manages the stab. For 3 damage, not the greatest hit, unfortunately. Sikthos is having a bit of struggle. Well, I would say the bat is pretty well entangled with the lizard man now, and will proceed to bite at him instead of you, and it succeeds, and its fangs inflict a wound of 7 damage to the scaly hide of the lizard man. Morpheus, what do you got?
I'm going to pop out and cast Prestidigitation on its eyes, causing all kinds of confusion. Hopefully I can distract it so the lizard man can get a few good shots in. Okay.
For a change of pace, I'm going to do a dexterity saving throw for the bat.
Okay.
It attempts to roll with or evade the nasty fumes, and it fails. So we can understand that it's going to either have to spend its action on its next turn doing something other than biting, or if it does bite, it'll be at disadvantage.
Okay.
So right itself or attack with disadvantage. Sikthos now will continue with his, we'll say, a bite and a spear thrust. The bite connects, the spear thrust does as well. He might be slaying the foe.
Get him!
Oh, and he rolls maximum damage.
Yeah!
The thing squeals and lets out this, bat-like shriek of distress as its senses are assailed by prestidigitated fumes, and Sikthos's spear stabs up through the breast of the bat from below, and it falls from where it is flapping in the air and thuds to the floor, slain.
Excellent.
Kill. I kill.
And Sikthos concludes by biting a section of membrane from the wing.
Good job, Sikthos. And I guess with that, we're going to slink our way up here. Okay, I'm going to be real quiet Because I remember hearing fluttering sounds over here.
Yes, the fluttering, in fact, is still continuing. It has not gotten closer. If anything, it's actually a little bit farther away.
Okay. I'm still going to be cautious because I've only got 5 hit points left. And I'm going to sneak around this bend here.
You sneak and look around the bend.
Okay.
There is a door marked with a symbol of exit, as though stairs leading up to glorious freedom, a stony door. There is also a small pool just to the east of that.
I'm going to motion over at the lizard man.
Out.
And yeah, do you want to go through the door?
Out.
He goes to the door,
Yep.
looks warily at the pool, works at the door, hauls upon it, and after a good shove or two, gets it open.
Okay.
Out. Go.
And he is ascending some stone steps.
Seeing the lizard man run safely to the door, I'm going to pick up my belly fat off of my belt. I'm going to grab my hat off of my head so I don't lose it. And I'm going to sprint with Longstrider as fast as I can to that door, go into the hallway, and slam the door shut behind me.
You see stairs ascending and the slinking tail of the lizard man going up there to freedom and victory.
Yes!
Congratulations, man. You made it.
I can't believe I made it. And I did
That
it!
was
Pacifism! No kills!
That was a really interesting run. That was, I would say, the most unique run of everyone that I've seen so far.
That's awesome.
And actually a playstyle that I'm personally pretty fond of. I like doing characters that have miscellany of spell effects as opposed to hit point damage stuff.
Right? Yeah, I find it gets boring, so I wanted to challenge myself, and there we go.
Man, well done. You have achieved victory in the Dungeon of Ratsfray. You have received 300 experience points, so you reach 2nd level.
Excellent. I love that. I love being 2nd level.
Maybe you'll be in the next dungeon, because there are many runs in Gauntlet Runner.
Maybe, we'll see. I'll
Thank you.
I'll have Merbus make a reappearance.
Well, thank you very much for playing in this. It was really cool to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right, everyone who followed along, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video sometime soon. As always, may your adventures be many.